Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Elma and this is Eternal Blissed. I thought it would be a cool idea to develop a whole new video series featuring information about our 7 major energy centers known as the chakras. And so for today's video, I will be covering the Muladhara chakra, also known as the root chakra. So this particular chakra is located at the base of our spine. It is represented with the color red. And some of the crystals and gemstones that are associated with this chakra and can activate its energies are red jasper, which looks like this, and also garnet, which looks like this. So these bracelets I'm wearing, the little red gemstones are garnet. The chakra is usually illustrated with this symbol, and this is from a book called Guaranteed Solutions. And this book was written by Paramahamsa Nithyananda, my guru, and a lot of the information on this video as well as future chakra videos will be referenced from Guaranteed Solutions. So if you're looking to learn more on the subject, it's a really great book and I definitely recommend that you check it out. Another cool book that I like on the subject of chakras is this book called Chakra Meditations. And in this book, the artist illustrates the chakra with a coiled serpent in the center, and this is to represent Kundalini energy. Our Kundalini energy resides in our root chakra, and according to Swamiji in the book Guaranteed Solutions, up to 80% of all of our energy is actually residing in that one chakra. So when we are able to unlock our root chakra and allow the energy to flow, we have unlimited potential. We can create, we can manifest, we can be very physically active, and also up to 50% of all of our problems will be automatically solved. Now, I know that sounds a little far-fetched and too good to be true, but when you think about the 3 characteristics that block the root chakra, you realize that these 3 are actually the root cause to many of our everyday problems. So the 3 characteristics or behaviors that block the root chakra are fantasy, imagination, and sex. So as humans, we were created with 2 types of energy, male and female energy. When we were born complete. Both energies float freely within us. However, due to society or upbringings, culture, tradition, religion, you name it, we were encouraged from a very early age to only engage in activities and behaviors and characteristics from whatever gender we were physically born into. So for females, we were encouraged to play with dolls, to dress up, to be very feminine, and for males, usually males are encouraged to engage in manly behaviors and to dress up a certain way and to play with toys designed for boys. So this separation began to cause a gap in us. It started to suppress the other part of our being. So instead of being one being that's male and female, we started to separate that and only adapt it to one characteristic, which would be being mainly female or be mainly male. So as we grew into our teens, we started to realize that we had this void inside us that we were seeking to fill. And we saw that other half that we suppressed onto others, and we started to look for external gratification and to have that void that we felt from that separation filled by others. We started chasing after dreams and fantasies that we saw on television, that we saw in the media, that we saw in movies. And so unfortunately, the media sells us exactly what we crave, and a lot of the content that they sell is pretty corrupted and filled with sexual undertones. As we start to collect fantasies and build images, we start to project those onto ourselves and onto others. And this is where body images and body issues start to surface. We start to compare ourselves with others, how we look versus how others look, how we live versus how others live. We start to project the created images that we think are the ideal partner, the ideal soulmate, into others that we engage in relationships with, and we become frustrated and we become angry when that other person does not fit into that image we projected onto them. And so when we look at ourselves and others from a space of fantasy and we start attaching fantasies into our relationships, we end up with failed relationships. When we look at others and ourselves from a space of lust, we do not appreciate the body for what it really is. We start having insecurity about our bodies. We start having expectations about what pleasure and fulfillment is, and usually end up frustrated because these expectations are not real. They are made up from a collective of different images, scenarios that we pick up from others. So when we are living from a space of fantasy and imagination, another thing that can happen is that we start developing certain behaviors like hypochondriac, where we think that we're sick all the time, or we start developing anxiety because we feel we're not making enough money and we won't be able to support ourselves. We feel ungrounded and insecure. We feel that we're not good enough, and there's always that self-doubt and self-hate inside. The less fantasies that we collect and the less images we attach onto ourselves and others, the easier and simpler our lives become. Think about it. When you have no expectations and when you're not attaching created images onto others, and you are allowing others to be who they are, and you start loving them for who they really are versus for who you want them to be, then relationships become so much more simple and so much more fulfilling. We start loving others for who they are, not for who we want them to be, and we start seeing life for what it is versus for what we want it to be. So to be able to reach this state of consciousness and understanding, it takes up a lot of courage and intelligence. We have to have the intelligence to know what's real and not real, what's created from our imagination versus what's created from actual life events and facts. And it takes up a lot of courage because a lot of times we project these fantasies and these delusions onto others and into life to protect ourselves from being hurt and from being disappointed or disillusioned. So once we are able to be grounded, rooted, and to see life for what it really is, everyday problems like anger, disillusionment, heartbreak, jealousy, even emptiness, insecurity, and low self-esteem become irrelevant. They no longer matter because we see life for what it is. We no longer feel jealous because we learn to appreciate our bodies for what they are. We learn to appreciate ourselves for who we really are. And we learn to adapt into a lifestyle that we really want to live. So I hope that this video was useful for you. The three major behaviors of the root chakra that prevent us from being grounded and rooted in oneness and in the now and present are fantasy, imagination, and sex. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next one, see ya.